Hey folks, this is Christian Ballard here at
Let's go. Get on base.
No mistakes needed. No mistakes made. I got my mic plugged up. Don't worry. What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at Ballard Sports Media. Free for all Wednesday. Gonna hang out, talk some college football. Also, we are keeping an eye on Cederian Morgan. Crystal ball to Alabama. Auburn also in the mix for a five-star wide receiver. Uh, I believe, is he from Saraland? He's from Alabama. Let's pull him up on 247 Sports here. We got a couple different commits scheduled for today, but we'll get into all that. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Maybe we'll do some team previews today as well. I need to get back to doing some of those. It's not that I don't have time nowadays. I mean, kind of. I have been working a new job lately, but I probably have more time than I need, or than I feel like I have. So I will say that, but have been busy. So, but let's take a look at some of the scheduled commits. We have quite a few here on July 2nd, 2025. Kendall, how do you say this? Let me make sure I got this pulled up for you guys too, by the way. I want to mostly keep an eye on Cedarian Morgan. Kendall Gerville is from Fort Myers, Florida. Defensive lineman, 28 schools offered, 4-star. He is mostly warm in his top three: Texas, Florida, and Florida State. Noah Clark, committing at noon Eastern time, is a 4-star defensive lineman. South Carolina, he's warmer on. NC State, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, and Virginia. So we got him. Cedarian Morgan, let's just go ahead and get into him. He's committing at 12 Central Time. Can I be live for that long? That would be fun. I probably won't, but we'll see. Notice this, and I think I talked a little bit about it on a Monday show. He is warmer on Alabama and Auburn, and also Florida. He's also warm on Georgia and Colorado to round out his top five. Donovan Webb, we'll come back to Cedarian Morgan. I would love to be live when he actually commits. It will be 12 o'clock here in Alabama when he does commit. It's currently almost 9 a.m. Donovan Webb is a 3-star. Trenton Henderson, Donovan Webb from Frisco, Texas at Panther Creek, Pensacola Catholic in Pensacola, Florida. Trenton Henderson committing tonight. He is warm on LSU, Texas, and Florida. The next two in the top five choices, he's not so much warm on them: Florida State and Michigan. But keep an eye on them because you just never know. Anyone could go anywhere they want. There's no right or wrong answers. That rounds out the 5-stars, or some of them at least. Here's one on July 5th, but today, that's it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys committing today on July 2nd. And you'll have a couple different commitments over the next few days, a lot on the 4th of July. We're we're ready for it, you know. Um, I'm looking forward to it. to see where all these kids want to go. I say kids, they're about my age. I can't really say much, you know. Um, Let me see something here. So yeah, so Cederian Morgan, he's going to commit today. I don't really have much planned. I figured we just kind of hang out today. We can look at where the top classes are. Um, I am curious about this. You know, you got Alabama, you got Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Colorado in his top five. Let me double check, and we'll pull up his or well, we'll pull up the team rankings. So currently number one is USC. Let's say he goes to Georgia. He's a 5 star. They get 2 5 stars compared to USC, unless something happens today for USC. But let's say nothing happens. If Morgan goes to Georgia, you're talking about Georgia possibly upping USC and jumping up to that number one spot. That's a big possibility. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Ohio State. I really don't see he could go. He could go to Alabama and maybe jump into the top five, top six, and jump Miami. I don't know. Uh, some other teams on his radar I mentioned were Auburn and Florida and Colorado. Florida's at 16. Basically, any of those teams that get Cedarian Morgan this morning, they're going to boost in recruiting rankings. They'll get an extra commitment. Number one, they'll get a 5 star. I mean, the only big change I see possibly is if he picks Georgia and it puts him at number one. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's a possibility that Georgia could overtake USC for the number one class. And Kirby Smart and the Dogs are hammering away at some of these commits. They're doing great recruiting. They always have. It took a little while to get a national title, then they went back to back and everything, and stuff like that. But I think if Georgia could get Cedarian Morgan, they take that number one class. I mean, what does that say about Kirby? Well, nothing new, but it reiterates the statement that he's the best coach in the country today. And yes, I believe that. Now that Nick Saban's out of the picture, Kirby Smart's the guy you want to go play for. Now, you still got other guys out there you want to possibly play for, guys like Marcus Freeman or James Franklin, uh, uh, Dabo Swinney. I still view him as a guy that guys want to go play for. You or play for Sarkisian in Texas, Ryan Day in Ohio State. But only one coach has 2 national titles, back-to-back SEC championship wins and multiple appearances in their conference championship year in and year out. I mean, that's Georgia. It's Georgia. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on Cedarian Morgan. Hopefully, we can be live. It's not a guarantee, but if we could go live on this show and watch him commit, I think that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome, man. I'm excited. Like you know, I say this all the time about National Signing Day in December and everything. I say, man, that's Christmas. It's in December and it is Christmas time, but that's Christmas. You feel like a kid getting to open up those presents and play with your new toys and stuff, right? On National Signing Day. If you're a real college football fan, and I say this with all due respect, I'm not saying like, oh, if you don't like recruiting, you're not a real college football fan. I'm talking about the die-hard college football fan. Loves recruiting. Maybe doesn't have to like the portal and stuff unless your team gets something out of it. But you talk about like, man, yeah. We'll have to watch. Let's watch some of his highlights this morning. First thing I want to do though, I want to see 247 Sport. They're probably going to go live for it for his commitment. There are some other commits. There's another one tonight, and I didn't see him listed on the website. But when you look at it, there's Trenton Henderson is going to be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern. He's a 5-star edge, and he's down to 3 finalists between Texas, Florida, and LSU. Pending hats on the table there, what he could choose from. He could choose wherever he wants to go based on offers and stuff. But I mean, yeah. What else we got today? That's it. Cederian Morgan and Trenton Henderson, both 5 stars. I'm excited. Is Cedarian Morgan the next Ryan Williams or Jeremiah Smith? You talk about some recency here. Now, they still got a lot to prove. They're young, but they're good so far. Are we going to see that with him? Could you imagine a scenario if he goes to Alabama, which honestly, I'm going to make a bold claim that he doesn't. I'm going to say he picks between the finalists listed. I'm going to say it's not going to be Bama. It might be Auburn or Colorado. Again, he's also got Clemson in there, so that's something. But, oh, dude, I don't know. You imagine him and Ryan Williams if he does go to Bama? That would be something special. Plus, you got Isaiah Horton from Miami as a transfer, highly recruited a couple years back. But if you want to talk about what Alabama's recruiting at the wide receiver position, I mean, that's huge. Then you talk about, okay, what if he goes to Auburn? That's a trio with Perry Thompson, Cam Coleman, and now Cedarian Morgan next year in 2026. Georgia, do they really have much at as a standout wide receiver? I'm not saying they don't have the talent, but off the top of my head, I really can't tell you who they have. So he'd be good over there. Texas this year, I'm not sure. I know Bond and Golden and guys like that have left, but of course they're loaded with NFL stars. I just got to watch them this year and take note of who they have at that position. Yeah, but live in 2 hours. Live in 2 hours. See if we can catch his highlights. Here's Coach Hayes. Um, Might have to go to Huddle or something, but I kind of don't want to. Oh, here we go. Here's something mic'd up. This is from Bacon Network. Mic'd up with Cederian Morgan. He's from Hoover, or he was at Hoover, Alabama for a 7-on-7. He's from Alexander City. He's kind of a rarity. You know, your 5 stars usually come out of states like Georgia, Florida, Texas, California. Those are the basic states to get the 5-star talent. He's a 5-star from Alexander City, Alabama. You just don't see that. Now, I will say, I believe Ryan Williams was out of Saraland, Alabama.
You may want to pull that out.
No, I'm finna get some water.
So here he is mic'd up here.
Coach.
Hey, y'all be right.
Run outside shoulder, my dude. No use right here.
I want to see like speed on this guy in this video. I want to see some good speed. I want to see if he could get some one-handed grabs or anything. So far, I like what I've seen. I mean, I saw him run a route here too on this video, but he's got some speed to him.
But you know,
Putting these boys through hell this year. Can't be over with. No, I'm done. Done for the day. We got another one back. We got 2 more back to back. We're going to the hotel. You gonna do it for me though? Yeah, I'll stay on. I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, let me get.
He just looks like he's built for the position. Honestly. His great route running, find the football.
Let's go.
He's fast. He's physical. Good footwork there.
Ooh.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Anyway. So yeah, Cederian Morgan. I don't know if we'll be live here on the show for it. I mean, if we are, we are. But if not, I mean, maybe I'll do something later on just to talk about where he ended up going. So let's see what else is in the news. What else is going on here? I didn't prepare much, you know. I wanted to do a free for all today. We got a couple people watching, but y'all click that StreamYard link. I'd love and appreciate that. If you guys want to be part of it, come on, let's go. And what's crazy is if he picks Alabama, it'll be the 3rd straight day. That Alabama gets a wide receiver. Alabama had picked up 2 back-to-back wide receivers in 2 days, like consecutive days. You know, there's Brian Williams from yesterday, and then there's, of course, they got Owen Cabell is from Tennessee. They got him Monday. He's 6'3", 201 pounds. And he chose Alabama over teams like Vandy and Wisconsin, Illinois. He's a 3-star. He probably didn't get much offers from teams like Texas or Georgia, but I mean, he chooses to go to Alabama. I mean, even the young guys. I mean, that's the thing is Alabama wide receiver or defense or anything like that. When you look at it, guys just want to play there because it's where you go to get better, get ready for the NFL. You can play on the field. And I feel like Ryan Williams, but I really want to say it goes back to Julio Jones and Devontae Smiths of the world that have kind of been this pipeline to get wide receivers to the Crimson Tide. That's what I believe, at least. I could be wrong. I don't. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. He's from Orlando. He chose the Crimson Tide over Penn State, Florida, and Notre Dame. That's a heck of a Final Four or three there. And he chose Alabama. What about those schools? Is Penn State that school you want to play at if you're a wide receiver? I feel like that's a defensive type of school more so. Notre Dame is kind of both sides of the ball now. Used to always be just defense. Florida, it's I mean it's Billy Napier in Florida. Now they're recruiting pretty good. I'm not going to deny that. They just the thing is about Florida, no matter what side of the ball you're on, if you're going there, there's something about it that stands out. They got 8 4-stars so far in the class. They got 6 3-star athletes. You know, in fact, let's take a look at Florida. I mean, you talk about all these teams, and we talk about Cederian Morgan. Could he go to Florida? I mean, he's got offers from schools like that I mentioned, but I would say this: Florida for 2026. I'm not here to hype them up. Okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like Josh Pate and tell you this or that, and they're going in the right direction because I don't believe any of that. Now, do I think they're getting better under Billy Napier? Sure. They're getting a little better. You know, they could have a better season this year, but that's one season. That's one year. When you dive into Florida and Billy Napier, they have the 16th ranked class currently overall for 2026. They have 14 commits. They have CJ Brunah is a corner from Windermere, Florida. Tuskegee, Alabama's Marquez Daniel is a wide receiver, an athlete in which is usually defense. Justin Williams from Gainesville is a 4-star. Will Griffin is from Tampa, is a quarterback. Jaraylen McCoy, Carson Baker is a running back. McCoy, by the way, a defensive tackle from Tupelo. Fairburn, Georgia, Carson Baker. They're loading up on the O line too. Loading up on the O line. Desmond Green, Javari Lucas. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 5 offensive linemen for Florida so far in this class. The big question I would ask for Florida is can you keep at least half of these guys, if not more? You got 14 commitments. If you could keep like 8 or 9 guys, right, you're going to probably lose some by December. It's possible. It's also possible you keep them. But then also who's on your radar? Who do you look at to try to go after? I mean, Kendall Gerville, Noah Clark, probably not. I would say, by the way, it is interesting. We talked about Cederian Morgan earlier. Florida is not only warm, but he's warmer. Like they're number 3 behind Auburn and Alabama, or Alabama and Auburn in that order. So you got Cederian Morgan is on your radar. You're also warm on Trenton Henderson from Pensacola, a defensive tackle. Donovan Webb is a 3-star. Not so much really anything on him. What about this Devin Jackson? He's at least got Miami in there. He's got Oregon. He's got Nebraska. A couple different schools that are out there. A couple different recruits that Florida could go after. But it's really only a handful. It's not too many. And what should be the goal is to get better in recruiting at like in the SEC. I don't know if Florida wants to get better nationally. I mean, they do. They're 16th overall, which I think for Florida that's actually pretty good. But again, you kind of want to compete within the SEC. You want to get back to beating Georgia. You want to get back to being in the mix for an SEC title. You're 7th in the SEC. Now, I don't know if you want to say that's actually pretty good, or I don't know. Probably not for Florida. I mean, Tennessee's ahead of you. LSU, Texas A&M is behind Georgia. Georgia has the number 1 class in the SEC. Texas A&M behind them. Alabama, Tennessee, Texas. That's your top 5. Then you got LSU and Florida. So I think Florida's in a good position recruiting wise, but I'm not going to hype them up, pat them on the head, and say, well, they're recruiting really good. They're probably going to be good on the field. No. I mean, they could. But based on what we've seen so far from Billy Napier, that's just not it. That's just not it. Florida could pick up some commitments today, next week, whatever, and it could boost them in the top 15. They can also lose some commitments down the road. So I think it's more likely they gain more than they lose in this recruiting battle right now. And they probably finish with the top 15, top 10 class. Probably not so much top 10. I'll put them top 15. Maybe no higher than 12. We'll see how they fare. But what's up, Harry? I look at Florida. Update for July 2nd. Could they steal Cederian Morgan? Very possible. There's some other key players out there. Trenton Henderson, I mentioned. He's committing tonight. Could they get him? Could they get 2? Could they get Morgan and Henderson? How crazy would that be if a team like Florida ended up getting 2 in one day? Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but you're talking about Florida here. Like, the way they finished the season last year, they overall they didn't do that good. Where'd they go? 7-5 plus a bowl, 8-5, I think. I don't know, but they were better in that second half of the year. Now, granted, they play teams like Florida State, but whatever. They're in a scenario where if they play their cards right in recruiting, they just have to get it on the field, which I'm not buying that Billy Napier can do that. But again, I've been proven wrong before. Proven wrong before. What's up, Harry? Lost to Iowa State in a bowl? Is that what Florida did? Hold on. Is that what they played? They played Iowa State? Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Let's see what Florida did last year. I think I've already previewed them, but they do. Tulane. They had beat Tulane. They beat Tulane in the bowl, the Gasparilla. Anyway, what could we preview here? You want to do some team previews? Memory bad. Now you're good, Harry. You're good, buddy. Y'all want to preview some teams? Who do I need to preview first? Let's see. Who do I have here? I need to preview quite a few teams. I don't have any made for the SEC right now. I got some ACC, really most of the ACC. I'm about halfway with the SEC though. Let's do, I don't know. Cheapskates! What's up, girl? How you doing? How y'all doing? Harry's in here. Tulane. I'll drop that StreamYard link again. Anyone's welcome to come on. I don't care. We'll talk some crap and college football, whatever. Let's see. How you do Pitt? Cal. What are some other teams? I don't know. I think I've done teams like Missouri. Did I ever? I don't know. I'm not getting every team this year like I wanted to. I'm not giving up on that dream, but we'll just kind of get what we get, I guess. Louisville. I don't think I've done Louisville yet. We could do Louisville. I just need to make a thumbnail for it. Let me see. Oh, Harry, what's up, brother?
I just killing a few minutes here before I go fight the crowd at Sam's.
Yeah.
Got to go get me.
Crowd.
Got to go pick up a butt to smoke.
You doing that for the 4th?
Yeah, we're gonna go visit her dad and take food. They've got a great, best price going. $1.97 a pound. You can't beat that with both hands. I haven't seen it that cheap in a while.
Yeah.
For a
That's
Boston
cool.
butt.
I love a good Boston butt.
Plus, the weather's going to break, so I don't have to sit out there and get wet while I'm smoking. But, I figure I'd just jump on in here, tell a few lies or whatnot.
Yeah. Lies are good, depending.
Yeah, me and
Depends on what you're lying about.
Yeah, me and Jackpot, I kind of got under his skin just a little bit over recruiting the other day. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, the kid, he's a North Carolina edge guy. And to be frank with you, I'm not a recruit, Nick. I mean, Yeah, I read about it every blooming day, but I don't follow it, and I couldn't tell you who the heck we even have that's committed.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it if my life depended on it. But anyway, uh, there was some comment about the guy uh, that South Carolina really wanted him bad, and it was just between Georgia and South Carolina, and he ended up choosing Georgia. And Jackpot wanted to say it was a bag deal, and I said, "No way, it was a bag deal, man." And he said, "There's no way you could know that." And I said, "Sure, there is. The math don't math. Georgia has 25 commitments with him.
Right.
That bag about empty.
I gotcha.
South Carolina got 9 recruits. 9. Yeah, they're bag full. So I don't want to hear that. The math don't math. If you want somebody and you only got 9 recruits and you still got the bulk of your 20 million or whatever it is, then by crackies, you just choose not to spend it. And
Yeah.
I know I've learned in the last couple of weeks more about how Georgia does the NIL and balancing act with all this money crap than I ever knew. And fact is that Kirby has final say, and he absolutely will not pay incoming freshmen. He just won't do it. He says, "You get an opportunity to come in here and earn your stripes and earn your check, just like everybody else." He says, "We don't play favorites." He says, "It's all done by merit. And you do good in school, keep your nose clean, practice hard, play hard, and you can get paid."
Yeah.
And that's the way he is. And it seems, we got the number 2 class right now. So evidently he's doing something right.
I would not be shocked if you end up with the number 1 class. I don't know, man. It's so weird to see. Like, I understand wanting to play for Lincoln Riley. I kind of understand a little bit, but not too much. But like because USC, we were looking, has the number 1 class right now. They have 30 commitments.
Well, his roster was junk, man.
Yeah.
And you get 105 now, so really 30 is not that many when you do the math.
Yeah. You
But
get 105 on scholarship or
yeah,
roster limit?
well,
On
roster limits
scholarship.
105. As far as I know, that includes, that also means that the 105 are all on Scully, and
Yeah.
because there's no more walk on now, and because they made the bulk of your roster previously, and so
Yeah.
that part of it, each program is having to adjust to, is uh, having the extra, 20 kids on scholarship, and that means that when you go to recruiting, uh, you can pay closer attention to your depth needs.
Yeah.
So that part of it is a win, I think, for the schools in a way, uh, because they will still recruit marginal guys. I mean, Kirby's always going to have his 2 or 3 kids nobody else recruits, nobody even heard of them,
Right.
that he knows about or somebody has told him about, that he's gone and privately checked out. He's that way, and he's got that kind of relationship with these coaches around here anymore. So. But what I'm curious about, I've not heard or read anything about what the traveling squad size is going to be.
The
When we were on
what?
the road, you could only take 70. And now with the expanded roster, I wonder if they're going to increase that amount, because if you had a bad spate of a bad first quarter or something and lost 3 or 4 starters, you were screwed on the road in the SEC.
Oh, are you talking about you can only, that's right. I think what you're referring to, you can only take so many players when you travel.
Correct. Yeah.
But
And
at home you can have them all, right?
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would not be shocked if they mess around with that rule.
Well, they need
And
to. I mean, if it's a greater expense for the schools, I understand why they did the 70. It's hard as hell, some of these venues, to get the rooms, and
right.
even way far out. and do it cost effectively. I mean, you gotta, these hotel people are gonna cooperate with you to a point, and they're gonna say, "Oh, well, we got 3/4 of the hotel rented out,
Yeah.
for a couple of days." Yes, sir. Ching ching. And you add another. Let's say they raised it to 80. Yeah, you got to house 10 more kids and feed them and transport them. So this money thing is starting to mess with my head just a little bit. It's difficult for me. It's just like when the Big Ten expanded to the Pac-12 and it absorbed them. How they covering all this travel expense, because it costs big money. It's not cheap.
Mm-mm.
It's sad in a way, but I guess it's gives us something new to try to figure out and cope with, as fans. How much money does it take anymore to be a top program and compete? We really don't know that answer anymore, do we?
No, and you know what's crazy is it's constantly changing. It's changing not only like, you could say, oh, you need $1 million roster this year to compete. Nowadays you need $1 million. Okay, cool. Next year it's gonna be like 5 million, and you're gonna need half of that from like maybe your offense or something. And some teams just can't get it.
Yeah. I don't know how outside of your traditional powers, your Power Five programs, and I'm not talking. There's 60 some out of them, but not all of them are capable of being in the middle of this dead spending war.
Yeah.
And I know they set caps, this, that, and the other, but hey, once cheaters, always cheaters.
Shout out Michigan.
I tell you what, cheat again. Good Lord, have mercy. No shame do they have. No shame
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Oh, look, there was something involved with that whole Nico thing. Now I'm talking about when he first got to Tennessee. Like, people say, "Oh, they got $1 million quarterback," and I kind of rolled my eyes at first. I'm like, "Yeah," because they cheated to get him. But then I'm like, "Wait a minute, what kind of 5-star recruit like him goes to Tennessee?"
One getting a big
And
pay.
I started thinking about it. Like, I'm like, "Wait a minute, if I'm a 5-star quarterback, that's one of the last places I'm going." Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I get going to the SEC somewhere, but like, uh,
Well, Heupel's got the track record with the quarterbacks, so that was an
he
allure.
does. He
That
does.
that was part of the allure, and having the dude that owns Pilot, the billionaire dude,
Yeah.
saying how much money is it going to take? Wait a minute, let me sweep this up off the floor and give it to you. And when you can do that, yeah, you could conceivably buy what the experts will tell you are all the best players. Whether or not you can coach them into some kind of team that will achieve is another question. But
Yeah.
you can have all the best tools in the world in your shop, but if you don't know how to repair something, then they're of no use to you. And
Right.
not saying that Tennessee's coaching staff is bad, but it's not as good as some others. And I'll say that about Florida. I'm not impressed at all with the coaching staff down there. I think they've got the dead young players to do better than what they're doing, but they're not put in the right positions to succeed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me as a Georgia fan to sit back and see what I expect from us, and then try to compare that to somebody else, that I might see as a peer. I consider Bama a peer, and or we are a peer to them. We can't beat you, but we right there with you.
Yeah. Right.
Until
Can't
that starts.
if you can't beat them, join them. Right.
exactly. You know, whatever
And
Bama's
that's a
doing
true state.
works.
That is a true statement today. That is a true statement today, for real.
And there's nothing. You know, there's what 100 and how many this year? 135 teams. I don't know. I hadn't counted.
Yeah, something like that.
Out of that 135, if you're gonna copy somebody who you know, I don't know. There's only 2 or 3 that I would even bother to say that about, and Bama would be
Mhm.
top of the list. So I don't have a problem with that as a Georgia fan. Others might, but I'm not eat up with the DAs as they are.
Yeah.
But you know, somebody posed a question to me in our group about, you know, have you done the top 25 yet? And I said, no, I've really not sat down and spent the time that I need to do to come up with something that I'm happy with. And but I'll tell you right now, there's probably after the top 5, you could just throw all the rest of the teams and the top 25 in a hat and shake out the rest of the playoff field. Literally, I don't see a dominant team. I see a couple of 3 or 4 rosters that have the ability to be the dominant team. Whether they will or not remains to be seen. But that's it. I only see about 4 teams that's even national title capable this year. And that's Alabama.
Yeah.
That's Georgia. Clemson, just because by virtue of them playing in the weak ass conference. And I'm on surprise
True.
here. Penn State
Mhm.
has the roster, and Texas A&M has the roster. People are going to be blown away, but that's my sleeper team this year is Texas A&M. That is one team I have examined, and they're too deep
I
as
have too.
good as anybody's. I swear to goodness, if their quarterback comes through, they're going to be hard to handle.
No, that I'd say that about teams like Auburn. I know they got like defensive issues, but at the same time, it's not too much to where they can't fix it. But you mentioned about Texas A&M. Yeah, if their quarterback comes through, I feel the same way about Auburn. If it's Hank Brown or if it's Deuce Knight or whoever it's going to be, Jackson Arnold. Actually, I think Hank Brown went to Iowa. I think he transferred. But um, anyway, there are so many teams out there, and I'm not talking about being close to a national title, but just back to consistent relevance. There are teams that are a quarterback away from doing that.
Oh, no question. When I say that about the A&M quarterback, kid did play
Yeah,
late. He was a freshman. He just doesn't have a lot of air time, kind of like Stockton. He was
yeah,
inserted, you know, for injury and whatnot. He's got some exposure, but he's not played enough yet. We don't know that much about him, but he's got everything around him to do very, very well. Plus, he is a legitimate dual threat. So
yeah,
A&M was already stacked on D. Uh, in fact, I like their roster better than I like Texas's for all the hype that Texas gets, and that's what it is. It's friggin' hype. We'll
hmm
beat their eyes out again when they come to Athens. I ain't even sweating them. You know, I take care in who I despise. I despise Florida. I despise them. I
yeah.
don't like Tennessee. I don't like South Carolina. There's a lot of teams I don't like, but I despise Florida, and I'm about ready
I
to.
feel that way.
I'm about ready to add some to that list.
I'm trying to think of who I feel about that because I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a team I actually despise. I used to feel that way about Auburn, but then I moved into the state of Alabama, and I'm like, maybe it ain't too bad. And you know, Tennessee, Tennessee's fun to make fun of, but I don't despise them. You know, there's a big difference.
Right.
Um, I don't despise the dogs. I don't despise Clemson. I don't really have much hate, man. I mean, I want to find a team, but I can't.
Oh well, I mean, Ohio State I despise.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'm with
Michigan,
you. I
Michigan.
don't know anybody that can stand Ohio State unless you're Ohio State. Like I just we're the Ohio State. You trademark 3 letters. Shut up. you, s- like it's 3 letters of the alphabet, man. I'm a fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Harry Legg is the Georgia Bulldogs. What's your point? Oh man.
Not Texas after last season earned the that they made the list of the
Yeah.
teams I despise. And there was I never will forget that dadgum incident during the game where they threw crap on the field.
Yeah.
I will never forgive that. Can't. I just can't do it. That is the lowest form, the lowest class that you can be.
Yeah.
And I know the Tennessee people did the same damn thing, but at least they waited to the end of the game.
Right.
At least they showed a modicum of class there.
Yeah.
Let's not just spoil the action, even if we are losing. Let's accept the defeat with class, but then afterwards, we can vent. I can sign up on that. That's a Southern thing to do. Almost like getting up and shaking the hand of the person who just whipped your butt, but and then as soon as they turn their back, then you shower them.
Yeah.
Oh man. Mm-mm. So off of
Yeah.
football for just a second. What you doing for the 4th?
Uh, just hanging out. I got to work this weekend, but other than that, I'm like, probably just chilling with my grandparents. Um, I don't know. I don't think we've had anything actually planned. I got a friend that does something. It's like Friday or Saturday night. Um, he calls it Freedom on the Mountain, and I went to it last year, and I think last year was like probably his first time, but he's doing it again this year, and he has a big display of fireworks.
Hmm. Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah, we're gonna go to the lake where her dad lives, and we're not gonna stay for the fireworks. It's too far. It's long. It takes about an hour and 45 minutes to get there. So uh, we can't spend the night because we have pets to take care of. So without board,
yeah,
we're sloughing them off on another family member, and it's a holiday weekend, and they all got plans. So, but it gets serious down there at Lake Sinclair. There's uh, coves and areas of the lake where people have lived for many years and are all neighbors, and they pool resources. There is one group that has
hmm
probably 2 tractor loads of fireworks bought already, and they've got 2 barges, and they are going to go around. There's one part of the lake where they'll tow the barges because the lake's
yeah,
so dang big that it's just not practical to tow them 20 miles. But uh, wherever they're going to be, there's going to be some hellacious fireworks. I promise you. They put a picture up the other day of this is what we got so far, and I said, oh my goodness! And right around the corner from where her daddy lives is a marina, and people in that area right there, they shoot fireworks off their pontoon boats. So
nice.
they'll form a line and kind of travel that part of the lake right there in circles or whatnot, shooting off fireworks.
Oh, they'll get crazy on the over here on Smith Lake, man. They'll launch them off their dock and stuff, and you know, it's it used to bother me when I would try to sleep and I'd hear it, but now it's like I don't know. I do love some fireworks, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fun. So let's
I saw
see.
you
I
was
want to
on,
do,
and
huh?
I saw that you were live, so I figured I'd come in here and join you because it's hard.
Heck yeah.
Hard to get folks on here for some reason. I don't understand it, but
People at work and stuff. I get it. I know I got no life. No, I'm just usually free on Wednesdays, especially, but
I'm retired, so I'm as long as I'm viable. Well, right now I'm viable or not viable.
yeah.
I'm ambulatory right now, as opposed to what I was earlier this year. So I can get around. So I'm doing my getting around while I can.
Mhm.
Next week I got to go for another procedure, and we'll see how that goes. But
Okay.
right now, uh, I can drive and do stuff. Just can't do a whole lot of exerting things. But as long as I can get around, I can go, and go places, and I'm good. I don't have to be confined.
Yeah.
So that first
I got you.
2.5 months of this year, blue chunks, not being able to hardly even leave a room. That was not fun. But anyhow, I'm gonna cut you loose here, buddy, and I'll catch up with you later on.
Awesome. You have a good one, Harry.
You too. Bye.
All right, bud. Appreciate Harry Legg for showing up today. We're gonna get into some team previews here. Let's keep it going. Let's see. How many can we get done today? Let's see. Let's start out. We want to look at Michigan State today here. Let's look at the Spartans in East Lansing, which I have nothing against them. I love Michigan State. We got MSU fan always showing up, talking up the Spartans with us. But let's go ahead and pull up the schedule. We'll make these quick, kind of. Jonathan Smith enters year 2, taking over for Mel Tucker. We won't get into that whole situation, but there were allegations, and obviously he's out the door, probably to never return. But um, I have seen the Michigan State schedule. I don't think I've actually made a prediction on it, but when I look at it, I mean, the ideal it would be somewhere between 5 and 8 wins. I mean, if they could make a bowl game, I think that'd be amazing. If they can't, you start to. I mean, do you start to panic? Western Michigan, Boston College, Youngstown State, at USC, at Nebraska, UCLA, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Penn State, Iowa, and Maryland. Uh, that's a really tough schedule. Um, if I had to give an at most, I mean, I'm looking at 6-6, maybe 7-5, but I don't know if I could bet money on that. I could see them beating, like, if they win their first 3 games, that's already 3 wins. USC, because it's Lincoln Riley, I mean, early in the year, I guess that could go either way, but at the same time, you kind of favor the home team here with the Trojans. Nebraska, I could see that as a win, but also a loss. UCLA, I'll give you UCLA for sure. I could give you Minnesota. Ooh, maybe Maryland. I say 7-5. Let's change that. I'm gonna put you at 6-6. Maybe a floor of mm, I don't know. I mean, well, is 6-6 the floor? Yeah, how good can they be? How good can their offense be? I think the obvious losses, Iowa's not obvious, but it would help me out because I got a bet with Uncle Lou of Iowa's win total. But I think Penn State, that's a loss. Michigan, rivalry game, it's not obvious, but if Michigan is what we think they are this year, that's a loss. Indiana, maybe Nebraska, USC, that's 5. Minnesota could go either way. I guess you could pull off 7-5 here. I mean, only if that's if you lose the games that are obvious. If you drop any other games and have a fluky loss at home or something, you're bound for 5 or 6 wins. Right. So let's do. What can I see here? Then you jump over to the ACC and you look at Louisville. Jeff Brom comes in from Purdue, did okay at Purdue, wasn't working out at the later half, but he comes in and takes over. I don't even know who he takes over for. Was it Satterfield, Scott Satterfield, or somebody? Anyway, Louisville comes into this season, always pretty good, putting offensive talent, wide receivers and stuff on the field and putting them in the NFL. I view them as average, middle of the road type in the ACC, but I'm actually pretty high on Louisville. I think when you look at their schedule here for 2025, Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, and Bowling Green to start out. That's already 3 wins. At Pitt, again, goes either way. Virginia, not very sold on Virginia. I think Louisville's going to be better there. Miami, Clemson, SMU are probably the games you look at and say, those are the obvious losses. You could probably get Virginia Tech and Cal. You could probably even get Boston College. You could probably get Kentucky at the end of the year. That's a rivalry game that goes either way. Kentucky and the SEC, how are they going to fare? Can they get back to making a bowl game? Like, there's a lot of questions, not for Louisville, but for the schedule, just in terms of what are these teams going to look like. If I had to give an at most, I guess you're looking at 9-3, 8-4, somewhere in there. I'd probably go 9-3 at most, and say that they kind of look like maybe what Alabama was last year. Where a young coach still trying to figure it out, just getting in there, but they lose some games. Now, do they lose one that they're not supposed to? If that's the case, it's 8-4. But I think you lose to Clemson. You could go. I think you lose to Miami. You lose to Clemson and SMU. It's a possibility that you end up with 5 losses if you drop Virginia Tech and maybe a Boston College or something. But if I had to give the utmost, I would say that's probably not going to happen for Louisville. That's just my opinion. 9-3 is what I'll stick to for the Cardinals. Anyway, um, so I guess Pigskin Pete just went live. I keep forgetting. I guess he goes live at 11 now. I don't know if he changed that permanently or what, but he is live. Go check out the midday show and everything. Episode 305 here. Go check him out. And yeah, we'll go over there. We'll watch him and everything. I was going to stay on until the commitment, but I don't have 2 hours to kill. I will post a video later on about Cederian Morgan. I will keep an eye on where he ends up going, 1 p.m. Eastern on 247 Sports YouTube channel. I love you guys. Thanks for watching the Christian Ballard Show. Jesus loves you. God bless. And we'll see you next time.